Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, Guile here, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series. It's tip-top pro-level ladder on the cards this afternoon. How utterly exciting is that? I'm pretty excited. I'd like to say it's all thanks to you guys after my plea the other week, saying I needed more ladder replays, but it's actually not. You've all been utterly useless. So I had to dig this one up myself, and it was no easy task. There's some kind of issue going on at the moment, temporary issue with FAF, and it's very difficult for people to get hold of replays. Searching through the replay vaults. Thank you very much to Bloodear, who showed me how to search the vault through alternative means, some bare bones checking tool that he helpfully sifted out for me, so I was able to grab today's game off that. But as far as I'm concerned, the rest of you can go lick a handrail on the London Underground. I shouldn't even joke about it at a time like this, but hey, you all know what I'm talking about. I can't even mention it, you know, because apparently YouTube are demonetizing videos that have too many mentions, more than sort of passing mentions to the or what should we call it, the great chesty congestion of our time that's going around at the moment. And people must be saying as well, I've had a few people say, God, we're going to get loads more casts, aren't we, because you must be stuck indoors now. Yeah, I kind of am. We've closed our business, our photography business. We are at home all the time. But that also means I'm at home with all the little angels as well, which is one of the other reasons that I don't get more content out to you guys generally. It's like my careers guidance counsellor at school told me I could be anything, and then the great chesty congestion came along and said, congratulations, you are now a primary school teacher. So we're doing work at home with the kids regularly, and I've got to find little moments where I can convince the wife to look after them so I can get some content out to you guys. So all thanks need to be directed towards the well, let's split it between half and half. I'm doing the work right as well. So yeah, there we go. So on to today's game. As we said, it's going to be pro level ladder. Very exciting stuff, and that action is going to take place on Cobalt Valley. I'm ready, you guys are ready, and the players are sure as hell ready. So let's go on over to the game zone and see how they're going to get on. Chain. Ka-ching! Instant loading, that's what we'd like to see. Oh, and incidentally, I am officially out of my machinima contract, which I've been in that stinking thing for 6 years. And if anybody is thinking about joining that, or another MCN for that matter, and you're not exactly sure if you have to, my advice is don't bother unless you're absolutely certain it's a requirement for your channel, because it's nothing but aggro. They take money off you for no good reason. And yeah, the amount of ad revenue that I've given them for providing me absolutely zero service, it's frightening. But I'm out now, so you might see some changes to the channel. I might be able to start streaming. I actually had a clause in the contract saying that unless I informed them, I was not able to stream any game of any kind on any other platform without informing them and giving them a piece of the pie. Why I signed that frickin' thing. I was young. Well, I wasn't even that young, but I was definitely stupid. But anyway, let's get on with the game. Like we said, ladder, and we've got Riddick down here in the red corner and Camo Rosso up here in the blue. Riddick going UEF, how very sensible, and facing off against the spiky space socialist. Camo Rosso up there at the top. Colours don't match in their authenticness, but never mind, we'll get on to it anyway. Both went 2P Gen, Land Factory, how very conventional. It seems like we're getting lots of factories queued up. A little bit more for Camo Rosso than Riddick, it would seem. Riddick going over to get the Hydro after putting down the first 2P Gens. He's going to put 2 engineers and his comm on that. Happy to go with just 1 engineer by contrast is Camo Rosso. That little build queue ticking away. He went for 3 P-Gens early on, went 2, started the Hydro, and then shoved the 3rd one down for good measure. How's his power balance doing on that front? Well, he's right on the breadline, 750 left, but that Hydro's nearly done, and he's going to be alright, I think. Eco balance, that's really what you want. You want to use as much as your power as you can before you get yourself power locked and into trouble. Hydro's up there for Riddick, so he's nice and comfortable now, and they are off to the proverbial races. What is going on there? That showed me a 0 for a second. I think that might have been a UI fail for a moment there, but both of these guys on 9 mass apiece. Cheeky little scout and lab inbound there for Camo Rosso. That's going to run straight into a striker. Not great for your health, especially if you can't be bothered to micro. Camo Rosso's attention, fair enough, out elsewhere. You can always chuck those little early labs in and see if you can pick up an NG kill or two. Not too shabby if it works, and if it doesn't, you haven't burned a great deal of resources in the attempt. You can see that's actually it's not a bad shot. You can see the ACU of Camo Rosso in the background, advancing slowly towards the middle. Riddick going to throw down a mech's got to the center early. What are we looking at for reclaim in the middle? Not an enormous amount. So apart from staking early claims to mechs and possibly getting some infrastructure up early on, not a massive advantage to getting to the middle super early. But he's going to get access to a few more resources. You can see that extra mechs making the difference at 2 mass per tick there, 17 to 15 in favor of Riddick. That's about to jump there to 19 to 15. No, 23. He must have picked up another one elsewhere at the same time. Or another couple even. 2 Mantis down on the right flank and a striker squaring off. Striker's going to turn tail and run. Doesn't like those 2-to-1 odds. Don't blame him. Pretty little tracks in the snow. I can sort out the camera work, and a mole over there on the right hand side. So plenty of intel on that corner of the map for Camo Rosso. 27 now to 23, and power with Riddick by by over a 2-to-1 margin there. 2.1k to 1k in terms of total power accrued, but 180 to 220 in favor of Camo Rosso in terms of generated power. How many land factories are we up to now? We're up to 5 in the main base for Camo Rosso. 1 air factory around the hydro. We've already got a bomber out harassing the left flank of Riddick there over in the west. And he's facing off against 4 land factories and 1 air factory that just completes right now. So he's slightly ahead, Riddick, on eco, slightly behind on factories. Now Mex is under siege over here. In come the Mantis. This will be a nice little pickup on that western side for Camo Rosso. Is that a Jester? Yes, it is. So gunship out as well for Camo Rosso. Not hanging about on that eastern flank. Those few tanks that are moving in up there, instead making a beeline for these mexes that are a little deeper into Riddick's territory. Nothing in the area that's going to be able to take that out immediately. We have got an archer inbound, but he's definitely going to lose that mex and presumably move on to his next target, which looks like it's going to be this mex down here. So Riddick's suffering quite badly now from this little aerial pressure that's being brought to bear from Camo Rosso. Got that air factory up late, has managed to get a couple of inties out now though, but he's resting on his laurels a bit. He's going to lose another mex as a result, despite having a spare interceptor lurking in the base there. But there's only so many actions that you can deploy per minute. APM always tricky. I missed TA for life when he had those APM stats up at the end of the battles, just to see where our players were at. Those overlays were always nice in the StarCraft casts, where you could see just how many actions per minute were being performed. This is where someone helpfully tells me in the comment section that there is such a mod for SupCom, but I'm just not up to speed. All suggestions for improvements to the cast gratefully received, guys. Don't hold back. If you've got advice, always happy to listen. Oof. A bit of light artillery harassment causing problems for the units in the east. We zoom out and take stock. We're back to a sort of a 50-50 situation in terms of map control, but Camo Rosso, well, for a moment there he was up on the deal. It was sort of 31 to 29, but now he dips behind. Now it's 27 to 31, so a changing situation all of the time. Camo Rosso actually coming around this little hillock here, coming in behind Riddick's comm. as Riddick chases away. Horde of Mantis in the middle, getting some notches in the old bedpost there. Up to 14 kills on that ACU. And now some pushback in the east as Camo Rosso withdraws. What was a pretty chunky looking force has been reduced to just 4 Mantis. Potentially this latest push puts in jeopardy these 2 mexes back here. Still at T1, so no great loss brewing there. But back to the middle, the 2 ACUs finally confronting one another. Riddick more concerned with engaging the spam, however. We'll be looking for a rank in vet. 10 kills for Camo Rosso's com. Riddick on 18. Switches target over to Camo Rosso to put some damage on him as his spam turns up. Not going to merge straight away. Looked like he was thinking about it. Definitely slightly lighter on numbers than his Cybran opponent. Back on the eastern flank. Indeed, those 2 mexes did go down. A bomber shows up for Camo Rosso, but he succumbs to the archers. Thinking about making a Radio 4 cultural reference there, but I realised most of the world and most of the viewers just wouldn't get it, so I refrained. A very select group of you out there who would have been thinking the same thing. And if you are in that select group, take a proverbial salute from me in the silence. Gun and speed upgrade on the way for Camo Rosso. 40% done there. That would be a nice thing to force a cancel on if he can manage it. Riddick, though, not with a huge amount of excess health to spare. On about 65%. That upgrade is on about 60%. And he's definitely down on spam numbers. I think it's fair to say likely that that upgrade is going to complete. Estimated 10 seconds on that completion. And indeed, there it goes. And now that's a very different prospect to go up against.
Commander under attack.
Do a quick factory count. So 11 land factories there for Riddick. Camo Rosso on 9. Interesting.
Commander
so
under attack.
Hasn't necessarily kept up with the factory output.
Attack.
And Riddick sort of just around breaking even on mass expenditure, so those 2 extra factories will be adding to his supremacy slowly, assuming Camo Rosso doesn't catch up. Camo Rosso is behind slightly on eco as well, and Riddick going to use this time to get an upgrade himself, going for his own damage and range upgrade. The Zeph Amp. Always forget what the Cybran one's called. Always remember the UEF one. I'll get it right. There we go. Microwave Accelerator. Doesn't quite have the same ring to it. That's not me being faction political. But you know I never shy away at a chance. That's a lot of Lobos in that unit composition from Riddick. Few more strikers towards the left hand side of the screen. there goes the upgrade, completed in a little over a minute. 10,000 hit points on the comm versus 12,000 over here. Both these guys have ranked up, but only one rank for Riddick, so he's due another one. But he's got a ways to go. 49 kills for Rosso. Riddick on 28 so far. Needs to be careful here. Riddick backing away. Camo Rosso moving forward. In comes the spam over from the right to alleviate some of the pressure. Just nudging the game volume a little bit. Sounded a little bit quiet to me. I don't know about you guys. Let us know if this sounds alright in the comments. Camo Rosso using his range, staying away from the pile of red UEF units, trying to thin them out as best he can. Riddick advancing forward as well, but he's got to be careful. He's on 50% health. Camo Rosso at full health and not far away from his next rank in vet as well, as he turns his attention to the pile of units in here. Trying to beef himself up. Riddick about to rank up in vet too, up to a 3-star comm. Camo Rosso gets his 3rd promotion. As does Riddick. Both comms almost ignoring one another as Camo Rosso looking like he's about to get sandwiched between Riddick's forces here. And notice the mass totals while we've been checking out this comm battle hasn't changed at all. Still 31 to 27. All of their attention, it would seem, for the time being, focused on the center of the map, or what's just past the center for Rosso into Riddick's territory. But Rosso being overtaken now as Riddick's spam pushes deeper and deeper into the map. Still all spam focused on one another, as well as the ACUs focused on the spam. Either one wanting to commit towards the comm, and it really does feel like that would be wasted at this moment. Both comms able to soak up a lot of damage. 16,800 hit points at full health there for Riddick, and that's with another promotion still to go. Got a lot more land factories that have popped up right in the middle now for Camo Rosso, who's moved them forward, but has he got the eco to sustain production out of them? He's up to 16 now. It is fluctuating, but he might well be alright with that. What's Riddick at?
Commander under attack.
He's still at around 11. He's only up to 13, so now he's been overtaken in factory numbers. A little bit of jostling here and there. The odd unit just sent out to take out fringe mexes. 29 mass per tick apiece now for these two guys. They continue to push on the center, trying to break their opponent. Just continual clutch pressure. Breakthrough potentially in the east though for Riddick. And spam will have to be diverted from the flow in the backfield from Camo Rosso to deal with that, prevent a run-by from getting into the main base. Now we've got major production lines set up for new factories down here for Riddick. He had clicked a huge line up there and thought, actually, maybe not. Maybe that's too many and maybe in the wrong position, so he's laid out 2 down here instead. Riddick still in the lead, this time with a 10 mass advantage. Rosso doing well on factory numbers, but needs to find a way to either tech up his mexes or grab some more and hold on to them. All core mexes at T1 for Rosso. Is that the same picture for Riddick? Well, no, he's got 3 T2 mexes in his core mex pile right now. And that will be making all the difference. Is that the mistake that seals Rosso's fate in this one as he gets surrounded by a pile of red tanks once again? He's certainly falling behind even further now. 37-40, in fact, to 23. And this is a big old mass field as well if you can shoot Rosso away from it. A lot of extra reclaim. Riddick up by 2k in total mass accrued so far in this one. Comms going toe-to-toe. Majority of the pile for Riddick, though, not massing on Rosso's comm, instead going forward right into the center and looking to engage those factories in the middle. Oof. Will the Lobos pick off another? Yes, they do. So that's 2 dealt with out of the center. T1 PD going to town on Rosso's comm. Rosso repaying the favor in kind to Riddick's ACU. He's actually taken a bit of a battering, back down to about 65-70% base HP. Minutes gone. God, that's a tense one. Mantis pushing on that western flank once again. A few tanks lurking there for Riddick. Drop back and wait for reinforcements to make their way around that hillock. Both comms fully 5-starred in vet. 154 kills for Rosso, 147 for Riddick. Giant machines of death right there. Apart from the opening, air power hasn't featured greatly in this one. It's all been about the ground spam, and this ACU fight has just been going on solidly for over 10 minutes now. And Rosso taking Lobo fire from range, needs to get his micro on and do it quickly. He's now below the HP of Riddick, but in comes the Mantis. That's a huge amount of firepower being brought to bear, and Riddick just loses a chunk. Rosso moving forward, senses blood here as he gets some solid hits on Riddick's comm. Riddick counter-pressing with his own spam coming out of the backfield, and now it's Rosso's turn to back up slightly. Both on about a third of their base HP. Maybe Rosso slightly further ahead in terms of the total tank, but actually both around the same amount of HP in total. Remember, of course, you get a minor advantage on regen for the Cybran. About 5 hit points compared to Riddick. 5 hit points a second going on extra. ACUs for UEF get a little bit more total health, but Rosso pushing now and pushing hard. Lots of Mantis coming in behind him. We have got this solid body of tanks to the west for Riddick, but he's going down into the red. Rosso sensing blood, wanting to end it here in 21 minutes. In come the tanks for Riddick. Riddick down to 3,800. Rosso continuing to press. He's got to try and get a kill here, otherwise he might just be far too isolated to make it out himself. Both of them, I think, are going to go down here potentially. No! Riddick wins. Riddick wins with, like, well, he says 60 HP. I thought for a minute it might have been lower than that, but I'll take his word for it. Wow. That is a close one to end on right there at 21 minutes and 45 seconds. Camo Rosso got excited. He was holding it together, but couldn't close it out. And yeah, Riddick held on by the skin of his teeth and managed to close out for the win. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, guys. There's always more to come from me in the future. Potentially more to come. Like, as in more. I don't know. We'll see. But current situation being what it is, it's all a bit up in the air. I appreciate lots and lots of you might be sitting at home with lots of extra time on your hands. So if I can get more content out, I will try. but no promises. I know some people are thinking about doing some extra tourneys. That will make it easier. It also makes it easier, guys, if I have the content there ready to actually cast. So get involved, play some games, send me replays, all that jazz, and that'll help me get the stuff out to you, the casts and what have you. Don't forget, if you feel so inclined, guys, please consider supporting me on Patreon. It's vitally important now more than ever. I totally appreciate as well. Times probably difficult for you guys, so yeah, it's only if it's cash that you can spare. But otherwise, until next time, guys, stay well and stay safe. This is Guile, signing out.